So thank you very much, Maria, for sitting down with me. My name's Sarah, I'm from Nordic Watchlist. So could you just tell us a little bit about your film, in case people don't know, if you can kind of summarise The Last Resort?
Without spoiling it?
Without spoiling it, yeah.
All right. It's a movie. It's a small story about the larger story. Mm-hmm. But specifically, it's about a Danish family, ordinary middle-class Danish family with 2 kids going on a resort holiday. She's been working all summer, so this is like the kids have decided they want to go to resort. Mm-hmm. And they've never been to a resort before, so this is exotic. But it's a lot of people there, so the second day of their holidays, they rent a car and they drive over the mountains to get to a secluded beach, and enjoys that a lot. And going back in the dark over the mountains, they bump into something. And this something turns out to be an Afghan refugee trying to find, just arrived the island, trying to find the refugee camp. He hurts his leg very badly, and here starts the story about us, Scandinavians, for us and by us. Very consistent perspective and point of view. So it's hard to say. If I was going to say like one sentence, it's about how to be a good human.
Yeah, definitely. There's very, very much a kind of humanist approach to this film. And I think that's very clear within Mikkel's character. Being this kind of teacher, especially of English and history, I think he's kind of our way into that kind of humanist approach, regardless of where you're coming from. So I think that's very clear in this film.
And also maybe because Scandinavians, and especially actually Norwegians, have had this well-meaning humanistic approach to the world outside, which is easy to have when you don't have migration and refugees close, as your neighbor.
Yeah.
And so it's a really theoretic approach to life.
Yeah.
So this is also the story about a theory meeting, something for real.
I think the performances in this film are amazing, especially from the sort of family unit. I think they're amazing, especially with the children. I think they give some amazing performances. How did you kind of create that sort of family unit to begin with? At the start of the film, we have them going on, paddle boards, having fun, and then kind of going into this more kind of tragedy kind of. How did you kind of set that up with the family to know that it's going to sort of decline as the film goes on?
It's, it's my 3rd film working with kids in a grown-up movie. And, where they're not like props, the kids, they're humans and characters, but yet not main characters. So it's all about casting, finding these kids, who can bring life into a thing and who don't, they're not into being in a movie. Yeah. So, and then it's a lot about having a lot of time preparing for the movie, so they get to know each other. And the actors, the grown-ups, the actors, they are crucial to give, make the kids have good performances. So I talk a lot to the grown-ups, and the kids, they would never know, they had never read the script, they've been told, so every day they were not sure of what we were going to do, so they don't know anything before you have the situation, which is going to be filmed. So it's always fresh. They're not, they're there.
Yeah.
It's all about being there in the situation.
Yeah. Genuine
reactions. Genuine reactions.
Yeah.
Reaction, action, reaction.
Yeah. I mean, the dialogue that the children have in this film is very kind of blunt, and it's very obvious. Like, why would he hurt us? Like, are you racist? Like, that was just a brilliant, because that's how kids speak.
Yeah, it is, and it's wonderful to. This movie is much more political received than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And the kids are, such a good medium to get through with stuff. They say things that we apparently can't say.
Yeah.
You know, this refugee, he smells.
Yeah.
He is ugly. I don't like him. All these, xenophobic things which we have, all of us.
Yeah.
All of us, and it's not only us white privilege who has it. He has it too. The Afghan, he's also got it. So it's something very human and timeless. Yeah. And they express it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's such a kind of voice for the kind of sort of rational, initial thoughts that we have, the sort of prejudice we all sort of have within us. Just a little bit more about the parents, I guess. They sort of go on their own journey and they have this own experience with people on the island. Obviously, Mikkel's the teacher and he's more the sort of empathetic character, and Louise is a bit more, she's the money earner, she's a bit more standoffish, and they sort of both have their own journeys. And I thought that was interesting. Was that like a conscious thing with like gender as well? Because I feel personally like, the women are depicted in films as more the kind of empathetic. Was that a conscious decision to kind of flip those expectations?
Definitely. It's, in this movie, you have you have swapped the roles, the traditional roles. Yeah. So she's the one with pants on. But I think also it's important that it could also become a comedy sort of, but it's not. And he would never be in her trousers. He would never want to be in her place, vice versa.
Yeah.
And then again, it is a bit, for Mikkel, through the process of making the movie, he realized by himself that it's also a lot about masculinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when he goes bananas, he's raw and he's male. He's very masculine,
sort of carnal,
Yes.
Punching.
Yes. So the empathetic, and you can also watch the movie as a battle between East and West, and it starts very diplomatic, and it ends in war, and he gets primal. He's an animal.
Definitely. There's a sort of a lovely sort of parallel throughout this film with the children sort of becoming obsessed with the hotel cat, and I love that kind of metaphor. Was that something? How did you come up with that sort of metaphor? Was that always going to be a cat? Was there going to be another animal? What was that kind of decision?
The cat has been there all the time, and the cat has almost been the reason for not getting finance for the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's a metaphor, which is it can also be. Yeah, we were scared that it would be too much, and we just found out at the end of the day that we had to. I fought to have the cat, so we got money, but I really had to fight for it. And then it was about getting enough cats. It's cats are the worst animals to direct. A dog you can train. They can't be trained. So it was like And yet it was so important to have that cat because it has so many different, it symbolizes so many things. A cat does whatever it wants, and they're everywhere, and they eat your food in the restaurants, and they, all of this. So, and they scream at night, like in Spain, they're everywhere. So, and then they capture this cat, and they bring it back to Scandinavia, and they're able to help-ish the cat, but not a refugee, which is one meaning. And on the other hand, it's also, I think that the cat will remind the parents of the tragedy that has happened, as long as the cat is alive in Denmark, so it's going to be there scratching, reminding them about their consciousness, and
I was just thinking, I was like, I wonder what these kids will think about this summer holiday when they're older. They're like, do you remember that holiday in Spain when there was this whole incident? I just wanted to quickly touch upon, Maria, just about the other family that we see in the hotel, who are kind of this much more, again, the kind of middle class they're Norwegian family, aren't they? Yeah. So I thought they were a really interesting dynamic, them trying to sort of like coax them into this kind of lavish lifestyle. And I was curious, like, did you sort of ever write that scene where they sort of get invited on the boat? Was that ever going to cross your mind? Would we ever see the family sort of go into their sort of world, or were they always going to sort of stay in the hotel and stay with the kind of the refugee sort of storyline?
Okay. Actually, when I met this project, there were no Norwegians there. There were no Swedes there. So we have a Swedish doctor, and we have a Norwegian couple who are, if you can have like everyday racism sort of racists. Yes. Yeah. And I'm Norwegian, right? So I could handle that they were everyday racists. I didn't have to defend them.
Yeah.
But I think it's, this idea of resorts. Scandinavians, they often go to these resorts and they're happy staying in the resort all time. And the waiters working there, they know a bit of your language, and they make it, that makes the kids feel so great. So many tacky things happening, And yet there are very many differences between Norwegians, Danish, and Swedes, which you guys, as audience, won't, it gives an extra flavor when you screen it in Scandinavia.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think the complexity of the film, of the characters, what they represent, what the Spanish people represent, what all of them. I think it's, the fact that the everyday racists are the ones who, at the end of the day, are the ones who their actions are humanistic or human.
Yeah.
Well, as our main characters, who are the, well-meaning humanist people, they don't act after their theory.
Yeah.
So it's a lot about small nuances. Which one can get on a second viewing, but some get it on the first. But it depends on what you see.
Yeah,
who you are.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have me thinking about my own kind of moral judgment when I was watching this film. I was like, what would I do in that situation?
Yeah.
So it's definitely sat with me for that. And just sort of my final question, Maria, was obviously something I took away instantly. There's a scene where they're first in the holiday resort and they're on the beds, the parents are on the sunbeds, and the kids are off, and they're like, the mum's like, where's the children? She's like, out of sight, out of mind. I was like, that has to be the theme of the kind of film. Is that something you hope people sort of get from this film? Like, that's, we as a society's kind of approach to sort of refugees, asylum seekers. Was that kind of a thread that you were sort of setting up, that kind of...
I think it's cool that you thought this. Because I think that people get so many different associations to the cat, to this line, to this situation, But I think for me personally, I felt, at the beginning of this project, I felt that I was so numb, of everything which was happening. And the project started before all the wars began, just before. Yeah. So that was then about the huge refugee crisis, but the numbness of, not really caring, not really, and you can't care all the time, that's for sure. But yet, you have the Pope who said once that if it's nobody's fault, it's everybody's fault.
Yeah.
And that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it's a film with lots of questions. Personally, like you said, what would I have done in this situation? And it's a tragedy, so if you did this, it would be wrong. If you did that, it would be wrong, which is a tragedy, and which is very close to comedy as well. It's very uncomfortable, and being that is also funny until a certain point. Yeah. Which I love. this kind of tone of voice where you can play around
Yes.
for as far as possible into the movie. So I'm really curious about the audience. I haven't screened it here yet, you know.
Yeah. Well, in my screening, some people were laughing, I think, at the right moment.
Oh,
The kind
cool.
of, there was definite humour.
Yeah,
Definitely
that's great.
that came across.
That's wonderful.
And then
Yes.
kind of intercuts
Yes.
with the more sort of
that's
dramatic
good.
moments. So
Yes,
it
that's
did work.
good. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've also had screenings where nobody laughs.
Oh,
And I
okay.
realize afterwards that they laugh inside themselves.
Yeah.
But they are.
Like, should
they,
I laugh at
They're
this?
unsure about if you're allowed to laugh.
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know?
Well,
Yeah.
you're encouraging it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm just conscious of time,
Yeah.
but thank you very much,
Yeah.
Maria, for sitting down with me.
Thank you.
It's amazing.